of this book, and you're writing the names of people you want to dedicate your work to. So any friends or family or even your enemies that you want them to get good karma.
Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Dawn Mountain Sunday Meditation. My name's Jason Cox. I'm one of the students that rotates here for the this Sunday meditation session. Here with me is one of our head lamas, Lama Namyal Dorje, Harvey Aronson. So our program for Sundays is a combination of two different meditations. We'll spend some time meditating focused on our breath. We'll do that at some specific point, maybe at our tip of our nostrils, or in our chest, or throat, or in the do, spot at sort of our base, about 3 finger widths below the navel and 3 finger widths in. And we'll spend about 3 or 4 minutes at a time focusing on our breath. And we'll alternate that with a chanting meditation. This comes from our guiding teacher, Adzam Rinpoche, in Tibet. And in this practice, we'll chant the syllable hung twice in one breath. Something like hung, hung. And we'll do that at our own pace. We'll also do that for, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. We'll alternate between these two practices today. And of course, we'll spend a little time. We'll spend a little time reading from Pema Chodron's book, Comfortable with Uncertainty, and discussing that. We'll do a little more meditation, and we'll close with dedicating the merit for our practice to all sentient beings, and especially to those that we write in the book. We'll start with our aspirational prayers that are on the screen and your sheet. So we can chant this together. May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. May all beings always be pain-free and live happily. May no beings ever cling to those near nor spurn those far. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. Take a moment to find your seat. I want to feel comfortable, relaxed. You want your back to be straight but not stiff. You can look down a few feet in front of you with your eyes open. Feel the support you have in the seat from what we call the 3 pillars. First, you have the support of this body, this skeletal structure. Because of that, you can relax all your muscles. Shoulders can relax, your face can relax. You have the support also of the earth itself. You're sitting directly over the center of the earth. You won't be going anywhere. So with that, you can relax. Start to bring your focus and you also have the support of your central channel. You can feel into or imagine a column for energy to go from your base at your seat through the crown of your head. It's just in front of your spine. And so with all the support, we can turn our attention to that point that we choose for our breath. And just feel what it's like, what each breath is like. When it's long or short, or hot or cold. How the in-breath and out-breath differ or are the same. We don't want to analyze it, just want to experience it, feel what it's like. When your mind wanders, which it will, it's okay. Just gently bring it back to that point into the breath. You can note it, distraction, or thinking, and then come back to that point of concentration and just feel what it's like. Turn our attention back to the breath. And see how we feel now after chanting. What's the breath like now? Just experience it. And turn our attention back to the breath. I'm going to take a moment to stretch or have any water. It's a cold day in Houston. I didn't bring my paper copy today, so I've got this version. But we're reading from Pema Chodron's book, Comfortable with Uncertainty. It is a collection of short chapters, mostly about a page, covering a range of topics. And today's chapter is 85, and its title is Obstacles as Questions. Obstacles occur at the outer and inner levels. At the outer level, the sense is that something or somebody has harmed us, interfering with the harmony and peace we thought was ours. Some rascal has ruined it all. This particular sense of obstacle occurs in relationships and in many other situations. We feel disappointed, harmed, confused, and attacked in a variety of ways. People have felt this way from the beginning of time. As for the inner level of obstacle, perhaps nothing ever really attacks us except our own confusion. Perhaps there is no solid obstacle except our own need to protect ourselves from being touched. Maybe the only enemy is that we don't like the way reality is now, and therefore wish it would go away fast. But what we find as practitioners is that nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. Even if we run 100 miles an hour to the other side of the continent, we find the very same problem awaiting us when we arrive. It keeps returning with new names, forms, and manifestations until we learn whatever it has to teach us. Where are we separating ourselves from reality? How are we pulling back instead of opening up? How are we closing down instead of allowing ourselves to experience fully whatever we encounter? At this outer level, she writes, the sense is that something or somebody has harmed us, interfering with the harmony and the peace we thought was ours. Some rascal has ruined it all. Here I am, minding my own business. Someone's just got to come knock me off balance. We feel disappointed, harmed, confused, and attacked in a variety of ways. You know, I made dinner for someone the other day, and they didn't like it all that much. I mean, you could tell. They didn't say it, but they didn't eat it all. Where sometimes, you know, we have some expectation about how someone is going to react or handle a situation, and they don't live up to that. It can disappoint us. Confused. You know, I think a lot of time in relationships, we struggle with figuring out how we can speak in a way that people will hear us, or to listen in a way that they feel heard. It's not always clear how to approach these things. And people have felt this way from the beginning of time. So you're not alone. Inner obstacles, nothing really attacks us except our own confusion. Confusion again. I think it kind of points to Well, these outer and inner obstacles are not so different. They might not even be different things. And then to treat these obstacles like questions, as the chapter is titled. When we run into those times, when we feel off balance, when we feel robbed of our harmony and peace, then we can look at what way we're separated from our experience at that time. How are we closing down instead of allowing ourselves to experience fully whatever we encounter? How are we pulling back instead of opening up? Where are we separating ourselves from reality? That's what I've prepared. Wonder what impression chapter made on anyone else? If anyone wants to speak? Yeah.
I'll say something. I was raised in a religion where there was a thought that there was this divine judge who judges people and metes out, like gives out punishment. And I realized how much in that context, dealing with external circumstances, I was always like waiting for people to be judged and waiting for them to receive their punishment and wondering like when it was going to come and why right now they're so happy and they haven't been punished yet. And how shifting to Buddhism has made me look at how much I was dealing with things by seeking that external punishment of others and looking at what was going on with them. And now we have karma, but karma can be dealt out over lifetimes. And it's sort of eliminated that crutch for me of like waiting for something bad to happen to somebody else, and instead looking at how I'm dealing with my experience internally and completely removing that external validation or anything, and just looking at how, like, why is my peace relying on punishment? Why did whatever that person did and the result, why was my peace depending on that? And taking more ownership of my peace. It's not just setting boundaries. It's not just saying no to people when they say protect your peace. It's also like I own a lot more of that peace than I ever thought I did. And it can feel a little bit like you're invincible when you start to feel like you don't let those things bother you. So that was just a comment I had.
It did make me think about how it's good to take the opportunity to become curious about what we are holding to be true, about what our obstacles are in life. Are they really what we think they are? And are we really that obstructed from peace? And is the thing we think is the obstacle truly the obstruction to our peace and freedom?
Yes, please, Nancy.
I think Emily made the first comment. I was just struck and empowered by it. Thank you.
Martin?
Well, I think as always, it's wonderful. And, I myself, I think, find myself kind of pushing away things that I assume are going to cause me pain. And so whatever way I choose to push them away, which sometimes means over planning or over ruminating, I may get upset with myself for over ruminating, but underneath it all is there's this kind of not wanting to feel certain feelings of especially vulnerability or pain. So this idea of not allowing ourselves to experience fully whatever we encounter, I think is very profound for me.
Okay. Appreciate everybody's comments. Let's return to our cushion, so to speak, to resettle. Prepare to return our attention to the breath at that same point. When you get distracted, you can label it thinking, distraction. Gently bring your attention back.
Back to our breath for a while. Just experience your breathing now.
How's that? Okay. Let's dedicate the merit of our practice. We've got it on the prayer sheet and also on screen. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. We dedicate the merit of our practice to all beings, but today especially to Conrad, Thomas, Kelly, Sylvia, Orlando, Nathaniel, Emma, Noah, Leah, Penny, Era, Elizabeth, Spike, Hunter, Tobias, Anna, Mac, Sharon, Christina, Tayshawn, Janiyah. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala. If we can close together with, we'll chant the syllable ah, one long breath. Thank you, everybody. Emily, do you have any announcements you'd like to make?
I do, and I suppose I'll do them in view of the camera.
Sounds good.
This Tuesday, we have a new Teaching Tuesday series. This is going to be an excellent series. We are drawing on a lot of traditional teachings and applying them to our current day experiences, whatever those experiences might be. I'm really excited. We're starting off with the Wheel of Life. I've been wanting to learn about the Wheel of Life. Is it the Baba Chakra? Awesome. So please join in. Nathaniel's helping to teach the series. We have First Sunday coming up in 2 weeks. As you know, we have a teaching on First Sunday, as well as for those of you in person, we have a lunch. Tentatively, that lunch is going to be Indian food. I'm very excited. At the end of February, we will have a Losar potluck. That is in person only. It's a large potluck. We usually have a lot of people, and we do some of the traditional Tibetan traditions of the new year, such as the throwing of the dough and something with yarn and fortunes. We also have 2 retreats coming up in March. We have the Guru Yoga retreat for Dzogchen Cycles, which is a weekend retreat. And then we have an online retreat with Lama Tenzin at the end of the month for calm, stillness, abiding awareness.
Yes.
And then in May, we have 2 more retreats. We're going to have a week-long retreat with Dzogchen Cycles for POA, and then a guest teacher, Kempo Yeshe, the following week for the ground fruit path.
Ground path fruit.
Ground path fruit text. So thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily.
Anything, Harvey?
No, I just encourage people for the Tuesday night teachings. It's both, it's within a framework of what's helpful for arriving at the view and the understanding of Dzogchen, but we're including a lot of basics that are necessary for understanding to support Dzogchen. And the 2 retreats are in March are open. The one in beginning is Guru Yoga, which is a very, very important practice. We just ask people to submit an application to the Dzogchen Cycles so that we have some idea of what your background is. And yeah, May will be doing POA, which is a practice. Again, it's a Dzogchen practice for preparing for dying. And Kempo Yeshe will be doing a prayer with reference to the Dzogchen base, the path, and the fruition of Dzogchen. A prayer by Jigme Lingpa, who's one of our lineal teachers. So it's a rich program coming up. MIPAM at the end of March, very, very rich Dzogchen teachings that it's a continuity of a program, but the way Lama Tenzin teaches, every weekend you can get something out of it, even if you're just starting. And there might be some benefit to at least listening to the first year of the program. Like that. And don't miss Indian food for Sunday.
Yeah.
Who's cooking?
Oh, got a volunteer.
The two of you? Looking forward.
Yeah, it's great.
Lovely to see everybody. Stay warm if it's cold where you are. We're expecting a freeze in Houston with maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow. I read, who knows? We haven't had 3 to 6 inches of snow in 20 years.
Yeah.
That'll be unusual, very unusual if we have it. Lovely to see everybody. Stay well.
Thank you, everyone.
Ongoing Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That's right. Not more.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Harvey.
No problem, Charlie.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys. Thank you, Nancy and Charlie, both.